Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the videos. The paid request this time for James. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, re-reviews, whatever, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal, usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And James wanted me to look at this bit of business that he's convinced is real, and he wanted to get my opinion on it. The rumor, conjecture that Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson were Michael Jackson's actual parents. I guess I'll put like the Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Smokey Robinson connection. First and foremost, I don't buy into this. I know a lot of people have conspiracy stuff. I don't think there's as many conspiracies as people think there are. I'm not saying there's none, but I don't think there are as many as people think there are. I think, just to make a story more interesting, we like to create these conspiracy theories. Nothing wrong with that, but if you believe in it, hey, if one day this is proven to be true, then I have egg on my face and oh well. But he showed me all these documents and videos like Diana Ross saying, oh, that's my child, that's my son, things of that nature. Well, when you look into it, the way I take it, I'll go through the whole thing, detail that he wrote down and such, but this is the way I look at it. Michael Jackson was born of parents, especially the dad, who only cared about the career first and foremost. The career, Jackson 5 career. Don't worry about your childhood. Don't worry about your childhood. Your career. So they were less parents and more managers. Managers, business participants. I think he looked at people like Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson as the parents he would like to have. He would have liked to have had, because not only are they musically inclined like him, but there will be stories that, yes, Diana Ross would watch most of the kids like a babysitter, like a guardian. And so you have one established singer looking at a young kid who's established singer, teacher maybe bits of the business, maybe even some pointers on singing. Says, oh yeah, that's my kid, yeah, that's my prodigy. And people threw that slang around, yeah, that's my kid, especially much more so back in the day. And I think Michael Jackson looked at these two people as A, they're into music like I am, and B, I think maybe in a way he wishes they were his parents, because Diana Ross was such a mentor to him. But then on the flip side, when he got older, you could tell he kind of had a little bit of a crush on her. But if we're led to believe here, he found out early on that Diana Ross was really his mom, and if that was the case, then why would they be taking pictures where it looks like they're ready to kiss and they're ready to fold onto themselves? Granted, you say that even if it was a guardianship, that'd be a bit weird too, but it's like, the kid who's got the babysitter, and you have the age difference, but then when they're 20 years old, they look at the babysitter a much different set of eyes, or the, different thing. But if it's an actual blood mother, that'd be a completely different ball game. And like, oh, okay, people think Michael Jackson did this to the kids. Now what? We don't think that he wants to do things to his mom as well. Jesus, leave the guy alone. He's dead. This is what the info says here. That's why he was the talent in the Jackson family, and why there were rumors that he was Evan Ross's father. They both look like Diana Ross. Well, Janet Jackson looked like her brother as well. So is Janet Jackson the daughter of Diana Ross as well? Does Janet Jackson and Michael before the things fucked up Michael's face, looked very much alike, Michael and Janet. So they looked similar. So is Janet Jackson the daughter? Smokey would have been 18, Diana 14 when Michael was born, so Barry Gordy arranged to have the kid given to his old boxing buddy and fellow musicians from Chicago, Joe Jackson, who would be fun leading to the formation of the Jackson 5. Joe had a big family where Michael would get everything he needs while training them to be an entertainer, and Motown could protect their image by taking the child out of the picture. Well, again, where's the proof of that? I mean, Smokey Robinson has admitted that he's cheated on his wife, and he has cheated with Diana. So you say to protect their image of Motown. Well, Smokey has admitted that he cheated on his wife. So how's that protecting the image of Motown? Turns out the kid is a talent. As we all know, the Jackson 5 made it to Motown. Well, I mean, the Jackson 5 as a group were a talent. I mean, Michael Jackson was the most talented, but the group made a lot of hits. Janet Jackson became a talent unto her own self. Even before there's several documented instances of Diana Ross in Gary, Indiana, such as at the school talent show where Jackson 5 performed. She has said multiple times on live TV that Michael is her baby child, doing it all for him, and he joked about him playing her son in a future movie. Yeah, Diana Ross was a friend of the family, and if she was someone who babysat the kids, because maybe Michael Jackson doesn't like his dad because his dad is more of a businessman than a father. Maybe he would even be mad at his mom because he's mad that his mom isn't doing anything to fix the situation. So maybe in a way has some kind of inner angst towards his actual mom. So then he looks at Diana Ross as kind of that figure of to look up to. I mean, it'd be like, if, let's say, Richard Donner was still alive and he looked at the Goonies and said, yep, those are my kids. Or we don't actually think that, oh, wow, he actually is the father of those kids. No, he's just like, hey, these are kids that, you know. Or like someone who's on a TV show. Okay, Matthew Perry passed away recently. The girl who played his mom in the TV show is like, my son died today. Like she said it in a way like that. It wasn't really her son, just played it on TV. So just people use that phrase. It's not always on a literal sense, is what I'm getting at. She has also said publicly she was in love with Smokey Robinson growing up, living on the same street as him in Detroit, which is odd because he had a girlfriend during that time. Well, again, Smokey Robinson admitted he cheated on his wife much later on. Diana also changed high schools around the time Michael was conceived. Again, want to see actual proof of that. A decade later, the Jackson 5 auditioned for Motown Detroit, then did a second performance at a Motown get-together at Barry's house, and Michael stated that at that point, Diana told him she wanted to take special interest in their career. Well, again, if they didn't want this secret to get out, then wouldn't she want to stay as far away as possible? There's a movie called Double Platinum, which stars Diana Ross, and it's about how she gave up her kid for her career and later reveals to the kid that she's her mother when she sees that the kid has talent, then goes on to help her with her career, which would parallel the real-life story of Michael. Well, number one, are people thinking of this theory because they saw this film and then retroactively go, well, maybe that film's about this? Also, why not? If the movie's about... So in the movie's a girl, even though Michael's a guy. Her daughter in the movie also wears a dress while performing that has the same sparkling blue design as the shirt Michael wore during his performance of Billie Jean at Motown 25 when he did the famous moonwalk and spin, and Diana wore an identical shirt when she performed with Michael through the 80s. Well, if Diana wore the identical shirt, then that's probably why the girl wore it too, because Diana wore it. It's written by Michael in his autobiography, Moonwalk, that he and the Jacksons lived with Diana Ross in Hollywood Hills when the Jackson 5 first signed to Motown, moved to LA, and her and Michael used to go out almost every day, just the two of them. This would have been when Diana Ross revealed to Michael she's his mom. He would have been about 10 years old, and that's why he became quiet and shy from then on. No, he became quiet and shy because he had a piece of shit dad who kept thumping on him to perform and be a businessman. And then you had all these other kids, and probably some of them were jealous that Michael was getting all the attention, and people seemed to like him, the most talented, more. So he probably had brothers who was jealous of him. And you know how brothers can get when they see someone and they're a bit jealous. I bet there's some confrontations there. Smokey Robinson stated that when he was leaving the Larry King interview after Michael passed away, that one of his fondest memories of Michael was when he used to go golfing at around 10 or 11 years old with him and Bobby Taylor. So because he said he liked to golf with Michael, that means it's his dad? We like to golf together. Charles Barkley likes to golf with a bunch of people. Does that mean he's their ex-husbands or fathers or whatever? This is also what happened. Michael met in the song Billie Jean. When this happened much too soon, she called me to her room. Diana was the one who said, I am the one, but the kid is not my son. Well, if Michael... No, so wait a minute. If Michael knows that Diana... Okay, so Michael... By this logic, Michael knows that Diana Ross is his mom. And they seem to really, really, really like each other. From all the ways that they're nice to each other, kind to each other, taking pictures with each other, close to each other. So if he has all this noteworthy praise for Diana Ross, he's going to write a song about calling her out and talking trash to her, saying, I don't tell her secrets to the world. Does that make a lot of sense? Or is that Michael Myers? This is after Halloween. I got Michael Myers on the brain. Michael Jackson, what, he's being a dick? Trash talking his own mom secretly? If that's the case, Diana Ross is not going to hear and go, what the fuck? Shh. Diana Ross is Billie Jean. This is also what the song Dirty Diana is about. It's about Diana Ross, the groupie who seduces Smokey Robinson, who she grew up on the same street as Conceive and Michael. So then Michael Jackson is making songs to trash talk Diana Ross, even though he's being so close and being so friendly and being so nice to Diana Ross, and they're being so close, and there's all these pictures of them being so close to each other, and Michael like giving her winks and stuff through all these other interviews throughout the years, and being so close to each other and hugging, and but he made songs where he's talking trash to her. Bit weird. That doesn't make any sense to me. There's the song Who Is It, which is about a mystery person who abandoned Michael. Is that really what the song's about? I didn't think that's what the song was about. In the music video, he holds a card that says Diana. We'll have to rewatch the video to see what all pertains to. If you can't feed your baby, then don't have a baby. And again refers to the mystery Billie Jean character. He references Ain't No Mountain High Enough in the song Leave Me Alone and says, Don't you come walking begging back mama. Well, does he reference a lot of songs throughout the years? He did a duet with one of the Beatles. Does that mean Paul McCartney is his brother from another mother? Maybe Paul McCartney was his dad. This is also why you see a weird sexual dynamic between Michael Jackson and Diana Ross, but you'll never actually see a picture or video of them making out. I didn't know they were supposed to be making out, and why would they... That doesn't explain why they would have, quote, a weird sexual dynamic. That doesn't explain anything why they would have that. So that's nothing explained. Recently, a video surfaced of Diana Ross singing "You Are Not Alone." Yeah, because she was close with Michael, and Michael passed away, so she did it to honor the guy. TMZ video, the last time we saw Joe Jackson, OC now Joe says, I raised Michael, he's my son, and Quincy Jones knows better. I don't talk about it, no way. He's defending the supposed fact that Michael was his son for a seemingly unknown reason. Well, number one, what does Quincy Jones have to do with anything? Number two, he's like, I raised Michael, he's my son. Well, you say he's senile. Senile people, they say, I mean, there's, it's called senile for a reason. The Pope is orange. Mel Gibson's a rabbit. My feet are cold. Michael Myers is Adolf Hitler. I mean, you see now, you say whatever the hell. That sounds more like, that's my son, I raise him. It ain't your fucking business, it ain't your son. I control what the fuck he did, not you, Quincy Jones. I'm the one to raise him, not you. Okay? You probably like wanting control of his assets or his money after he died. I'm the one who decides. During the week following Michael's untimely death, Joe in interviews said he was doing great and the family was doing pretty well as he took the opportunity to promote his new record label. And Smokey Robinson went on the Larry King Show and did an interview about what an amazing artist Michael Jackson was. What does that mean? A shitload of people talked about how great Michael Jackson was. A shitload of people. Were they all Michael Jackson's dad? And Joe Jackson, he's a dick. He's always been a dick. I think it's been proven he's a fucking dick. Most people know he was a dick who cared more about business than his kid. That's one of the reasons why his kid was all fucked up. Because his dad was a piece of shit. So of course he would talk about business. This theory explains why Michael not only looks like Diana Ross, so Janet Jackson does too. His facial structure looks like Smokey's. Does it? Why he was a musical prodigy who had the stage presence, songwriting abilities of his real parents. So did Janet Jackson. Is she the daughter of Smokey Robinson and fucking Diana Ross as well? Janet Jackson? Or we just don't forget she exists? See, that's the thing. You throw out some pieces of information to make whatever. This is not against James who requested this, is against whoever. Because I think he got this from someone else. You can see why his personality developed the way it did. It's why he acted like an orphan, calling himself Peter Pan, built Neverland, helped disadvantaged kids. Because But you say that he found out when he was 10 or 11 that this was his mom. So, and that they were close from then on. So, no, it's because he had no childhood. His childhood was taken away because he had parents that cared about the business first and foremost. And look how many kids nowadays get fucked up. Look, Corey Haim and the shit he went through. Macaulay Culkin. And the whole ordeal he had with his dad. And he went through some fucking trials and tribulations. Drew Barrymore. There are a lot of kids in the business that went through some real shit. Isn't Zachary Ty Bryan? Didn't he get arrested for something? One of the kids from Home Improvement? Happens to a lot of kids. Let alone someone who became one of the most popular people in existence. In the movie Hitsville, USA, the making of Motown, Barry Gordy jokes with Smokey about how some of the babies that the groupies were having were Smokey's, and that when he first saw the Jackson 5 perform Who's Loving You, Michael reminded him of a little Smokey. Well, if they want to keep this secret, why are they saying this out loud? At Michael Jackson Public Memorial, the first person that comes out is Smokey Robinson reading a letter from Diana Ross. Well, you just said that Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson had a close relationship. And Smokey has even admitted in recent years that he cheated on his wife with Diana Ross. So if they were that close, and he knows that Diana Ross was really close with Michael, like a lot of those guys in Motown were close with Michael, then yeah, they'd be up there talking about Michael. At least the ones that didn't abandon Michael, because they believed that he did what I don't think he did. Now you might say, well, Janet Jackson looks a lot like MJ, but growing up in his shadow, she adopted many of his mannerisms and used makeup and plastic surgery to replicate his appearance, but their vanity was merely deception. You can look at early pictures and they look similar too. Joe and Barry Brandon marketed the Jacksons a certain way to make Michael seem related, such as with the matching outfits and afros. That's what most of them did in the 70s. Most people did in the 70s. They followed a fad. You know, the Beatles looked like this and someone looked like that. Kiss. Remember when Kiss took off their fucking makeup to fit in with the other rock bands of the 80s? Lit it up all night long. And people like, do you put the makeup back on, Kiss? Or some of the more hardcore bands started seeing more soft rock because some of the other people were seeing soft rock and power ballads were did more box office. So some of the harder rock bands were started singing more like that and dressing more like that to fit in. That happened a lot. Diana Ross jokes about Michael Jackson playing her son in the movie. Yeah, because she sees that someone's very talented and is like the leader of the Jackson Five. This is like the popular band at the time, and we've established that she's looked after them from time to time. Smokey Robinson recounts how Michael Jackson used to go golfing with him. That's such a weird thing. Like, that's what you don't use? We used to go golfing. Diana was a mother figure to Michael. Yeah, a mother figure. It's a lot of people like that. Who was it? I'm trying to think of the name of it. What was it? John Stamos on Hot Ones, the YouTube show where you eat the hot wings, and John Stamos was talking about Don Rickles, and he was talking about how Don Rickles was a father figure to him. Is that supposed to mean that, well, maybe Don Rickles was the father of, John Stamos' father? Joe Jetson outcomes the defensive fact that Michael is his son when confronted by paparazzi. Well, first off, this person said that he was senile. Second off, he's like, yeah, he's my son. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. It's my decision. It's not you. Ain't your fucking business. A lot of people say that. How many parents have said, it's my fucking son. You shut up. You sit down with my son. You hear that shit all the time when parents get pissed or drunk or on drugs. So, I mean, if James believes in this, that's fine. I don't. I think this is all very thin. I do think this is all very thin. I'm sorry to the guy. I don't mean offense, but I think this is all very anorexic, Alan McBeal type of thinness. That's just me. Just my opinion. Maybe I'm just very cynical. Maybe I'm just very hard to impress. Maybe all the above. Take that for what you will. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And hey, this was interesting. At least it was different. So we'll see you guys later. Well, one last thing is that I know people sometimes get mad that I bring up Michael Jackson, but yes, I am one of those guys that I do not think Michael Jackson did what he supposedly did because number one, there was never any proof found. There was never any hardcore evidence found. They looked up and down and center. They could find evidence on all these other people coming out of the woodwork, but never on Michael Jackson. The one that said, oh, we found some stuff, that was a National Enquirer type of news publication that only is, they print stuff like Bigfoot had a baby with Diana Ross, or the $1 Million Man had a $1 Million operation and now Lee Majors has a new brain. They print shit like that. And even people like Macaulay Culkin and other people said, no, what these people are saying are full of shit. And then the people that come in, when you actually look into these people, there was the one kid whose father was a nutcase, and maybe he didn't say we're going to fuck over Michael Jackson, but it seemed like the father and the son kind of had this back and forth going at each other as if there's more going on, perhaps pertaining to money. I forget the name of the kid's name. And then that Finding Neverland bullshit. He did it in this city. Well, actually, he was in this city at the same time. Well, same difference. It's across the country. Well, same difference. What was the other thing? Oh, I got all this Michael Jackson memorabilia. I'm going to burn it. That guy had that Michael Jackson memorabilia and sold it like a year or so before because he was broke. And even at that time, he was still working. Like before Michael Jackson died, he was still working as one of Michael Jackson's like backup dancers. And in fact, he had a girlfriend who was one of Michael Jackson's like nieces or something. And he wanted to get married at the Never Never Land. So all this stuff happened to you as a kid, but you wanted to get married with this girl at the Never Never Land Ranch. You don't think that's a bit fucking weird? I think that's a bit fucking weird. Fuck if I know, though. I mean, what was the testimony of the mom? When Michael Jackson died, she cheered. And then later on she said, well, it wasn't until like 2 years later, after Michael Jackson died, that my son told me that he did this. I just hear argue maybe she just cheered because she thought Michael Jackson was guilty. But then years later she found out he was actually guilty in her mind. But at the same time, you know, she brought it up because what happened to her son. But then she got the dates wrong and she fucked up. Just when people keep talking and they keep changing their stories, or the mind is the mind's just forgetful, then things become more hazy. But then people don't want to look into it because if you say, I have a doubt, people call you what that person's accused of. That's why a lot of people in Hollywood, if there was people in Hollywood that did believe Michael Jackson was innocent, if they said it, the media, the public, a lot of people out there would go, you probably do it too, don't you? You're just protecting. And create another conspiracy theory. Now, hey, if somehow, someday, some way... Oh, yeah, what was the other thing? Remember the whole photo with Michael Jackson when he had his pictures taken? Well, the pictures were taken of his penis. And the people that accused him, hey, tell us what the features were. And they got it wrong. I'm trying to remember the details. I think they said he was non-circumcised, but he was, or it was vice versa. Like, they kept getting the information wrong. But you know what? You don't want to say that because they want Oprah Winfrey. And they had the documentary, and they got the people with the tears. Because we can believe that, the rich people will manipulate people, but we can't believe other things get manipulated. Okay. But hey, if somehow, some way, someday, some video popped up and it was like the Victor Salva thing where, yep, he really did it, then I would be proven wrong. Until then, stand by what I think. So with that said, yeah, Elvis Presley's also alive too. And Bruce Lee is alive, and the General Lee is alive, and Brandon Lee's alive. Brandon and Bruce Lee are frozen until the economy gets better. I'm not mocking people that have these type of theories. I do think it's fun to watch or listen to and think about. I'm not making fun of it. I'm just trying to be entertaining and making jokes. So, with that said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.